Welcome to the platform where we talk nothing other than UK qualification and other qualifications in other countries. We're here to help you qualify more so in the United Kingdom. I've got my pen and my paper, and I'm going to be taking notes. One thing you will get on these lives is tips on how to succeed in your desire to become a UK qualified optometrist as an overseas optometrist. And the other thing that you do get if you are lucky to catch the live is we do give a lot of giveaways. And so I'd like to know where you're watching from. I want you to hashtag live if you're live, hashtag replay if you're on the replay, and if you have any questions, this is the time. Okay, so today I'm going to be discussing the 5 mistakes that keep optometrists from passing the GOC interview. And I say that because sadly recently a lot of optometrists have been going in for their interview and coming out with adaptations and some with closure. Closure simply means absolute rejection, unable to proceed even to an adaptation. And there are very few that are passing the GOC interview. And so today, that is what I'm going to be discussing. And so if you are watching right now, you may catch this on the replay. I'd like to know what stage of the process you are at. You know, are you still thinking about it? Have you, have you got a date for your interview? Are you doing your application form? I want to know where you are at. One way you can get our giveaways is by when you catch the live, you really want to comment. You want to say where you're watching from. And please remember, I've got my pencil right ready to take your questions. So if you have any questions, go ahead and put it in the comments below and I'll answer it right on the live. I want to say thank you so much for coming in, and please tag a fellow overseas optometrist, anyone that is thinking about UK qualification, please tag them for the session. Right, so 5 mistakes that keep optometrists from passing the GOC interview. Now, there's so many things, but I'm just going to talk about 5 of them today. And I hope that this will be helpful. If I mention anyone and you have any questions, let me know. Now, the first thing is not allowing your clinical experience to be transferable. Okay, so it's not just about I have loads of discussions with international optometrists, and sometimes when I'm talking, they say, oh well, we don't do this, we don't do this in India, this is not how it's done in Pakistan, this is not how it's done in Nigeria. They're not interested in the GOC interview about what happens solely in your country. What they want to see is that you are able to show them that your clinical competence is transferable. And that simply means that you must be able to explain cases as you see them in your home country, and also let them know that you understand what happens in the United Kingdom. Simple and short. That means that, okay, my mentor said this to me, because I had a chat with my mentor. This would be over 10 years ago. And when she was talking to me, she said, one thing you would know is that they know what applies in your country. But what matters to them is that you've been able to come to that place, that you now understand what is happening, what happens in the United Kingdom as regarding the various case scenarios that are covered across the 8 competencies that you are assessed in the United Kingdom. And so that is why they bring you in for an interview, isn't it? They have looked at your documentation, they verified that your certificates are authentic, but they want to have a one-on-one chat with you. They've seen what you filled in your form, but they want to have a chat with you. Let's see. Let me ask this optometrist about headaches. Let me ask them, about flashes and floaters. Let me see if they know what the protocols are. If they can give me a clinical discussion line upon line. And I tell you, the way you can gain more points in your GOC interview is simply by saying things like, this is how it's managed in my country, but from the research I've done based on preparing for, practicing in the UK, I know that it's done this way. And then they know of a truth, this person is ready. One key mistake that international optometrists make, which will be the second one, is thinking that the pre-registration year is all a year for tutorials. It's a year where they're going to be teaching you how to do A, B, and C. No, the UK, as of right now, is not operating a bridging program. A bridging program would simply mean that they know that, and this happens in Canada, in United States of America, they know that obviously the way they practice optometry is different from other countries. And so there would be an entrance exam. You go into, it's like a course. And what they're doing in that bridging program is covering that bridge, taking that knowledge that you have in your country and teaching you the way it applies in their country. As of now, the United Kingdom is not using that particular system. However, we do know that in 2026 September, most likely that is the kind of system they are looking to adopt. And so if you are right now in the business and you are preparing to go through UK qualifications before that time, you want to ace your interview, you want to get yourself clearly ready with a full understanding of what applies in the UK. Now, that just brings me to my second point. That is, I'm just looking at my notes, okay? Because I can speak on one point and I'm just drifting. I want to make sure I give you value for the time that you have here. And if you have any questions, please put it in the chat below. I want to know where you're watching from. Thank you so much for coming in. Now, the GOC interview is not just a formality. It's not a formality. So many people underestimate the GOC interview. And honestly, so many people underestimate it and they just walk in there. You have a chance. Once you pass your GOC interview, you get your, and once you pass your GOC interview, you already have a ticket to earning in the United Kingdom. I've watched so many people, including myself, transition from healthcare assistants, from optical assistants, just shop floor staff, retail in Tesco and all, and we've transitioned into the consulting room. How did we do that? By understanding the process and maximizing the opportunity we had. So the GOC interview is not a formality, but it is your gateway to practicing optometry in the United Kingdom. I do have I did a video on TikTok and I talked about the earning potential of an optometrist in the UK and the broad spectrum of what you can become and how more so helpful you can be in your community, your family back home, friends back home, even the optometry community back in your home country, if you can take this particular step serious. So it's not enough just to talk about what you did or what experience you do, but it's all about, even in that interview hall, critical thinking. Critical thinking has to come into play. When you're asked a question during your GOC interview, you need to think, what competency? How can I show my clinical expertise? Someone said something and I love it. He said, when they ask you a question, you need to open up your mouth. You need to speak about everything you know, sweep across all the competencies. And that way they don't begin to ask them their own questions. They just continue with the things that you're saying. All right. Let's move to step number 3. Step number 3 mistake that international optometrists do when preparing for the GOC interview, and it causes them, not so good outcomes, is not understanding all the GOC competencies inside out. Don't just basic, I love optometry. I practiced in Nigeria, and I honestly, I remember in the beginning of my journey, and they would ask me, so what do you do in Nigeria? And I'll tell them how I've even, I've done, all those invasive procedures that I used to do, how I used to prescribe, for glaucoma patients, how I worked right hand in hand with ophthalmologists, admitting patients and things like that, even just outside refraction. But the point is, for the GOC interview, yes, you're doing all those things in your home country, but you must understand the GOC competencies inside out. This is what the assessors are going to be using to assess your readiness. Now, let me just bring it down to let me just let you understand this. The GOC interview is not advanced level optometry. It is not advanced level optometry. This is just entry level optometry that the graduates from the universities here in the UK, these are the knowledge that they would expect them to have, and maybe a twitch, a tiny bit more, But a lot of optometrists, what they do is they want to go to, they are so excited about these interesting cases they've been seeing, like I have done cataract surgery, I've worked in the theater, and I've done this and I've done that. And then when they are asked basic questions, you have a prescription of 3-year-old that's coming to your practice, and you have a prescription of +5 in the right eye and plus 050 in the left eye, what would you do? They begin to fumble. Basic questions that just entry-level optometrists should have. No, why? Because that optometrist did not take time to understand the competencies inside out. Sometimes I have discussion with, optometrists preparing for the GOC interview. And then I may ask a question, maybe in a mock session, and you could see that their faces change, that smiley faces all drop. They're assessing the Bain Center. And then some of them I'm discussing and they say, I do not want them to ask me this particular thing. When it comes to binocular vision, no. When it comes to this part of the, no. When it comes to this one, I'm really good. Now, let me say this to you. You have to be at competence level for all 8 competencies in order not to get an adaptation. Okay? You have to be at that level. And that, you have to. And what I say to international optometrists, and I'm speaking to you right now, I want you to go back and really hone into these competencies. Turn them inside out, understand them well, because you never know. There are some things that are said in the interview, and you would answer, or I don't want to say you, because not you listening to me right now. They would answer, and then what happens? They're like, no, not even adaptation is sorting this one out. We're just going to close the case here. We don't want that. We have, as far as you have been given that opportunity to sit in that hall with the assessors, it means that you have 100%. The probability of you passing that interview is 100%. You've got that one shot, and I want you to take it seriously. Okay. Now, point number 4, we're almost coming to the end of the stream. If you have any questions, please put it in the chat. Let me know where you're watching from, who is here. You never know. If you're the most engaged person on the post, you never know. You could just win a 30-minute free mock interview with me. You know how much that is worth. So you want to keep your comments coming. I want to see your questions as I go along. Now, number 4, I want everybody to know that time is running out. If you've been thinking about UK optometry, you need to start it right now. This is another mistake international optometrists make. Maybe I'm going to do it next month. Maybe it's going to be maybe when they change the system in September, it's going to be better. It may not be better. As far as I'm aware, for all the time I've known UK optometry and the way they run the system, this is the easiest system. Why? Number 1, it's just about filling a form. You need to fill it correctly. I know it's a bit complicated, but hear me out. Then you do an interview. The next thing, you are in practice. You have a supervisor, and you have 1 year to adapt and understand how things are done in the United Kingdom, isn't it? In my time, I was when we had our practical session, which happened just June 13th, and I was sharing with the candidates, with the optometrists I was with in clinic. And I said to them that my very first day in practice here in the UK as a fully qualified optometrist, honestly speaking, I wanted to abandon my equipment. I felt like I want to step out of run away. That is it. I wanted to run away, give my insurance, like the AOP, which is our insurance body, a call and say, I have been misused. I am being abused. No one has given me no introduction to things. I don't even know how they work here. I'm just thrown into the consulting room with a full clinic booked. But that's not the way it is for you. What happens is you come in, I'm a supervisor, so we will take you around, you shadow us for a bit, and little by little you start seeing cases, and there's all the support for the pre-reg community. ACN Academy supports your practice where you work. They will be doing some sort of support system, and it would, by the time you've gone through that system for 12 months and it's your first time in clinic, of course you know what to do. You know the referral criteria. You know what to do with a little child. You know if someone comes in with double vision, you know the referral pathway and everything. It's so much easy now. So if you've been thinking, I would say you want to jump in right now and get confident, get competent, go through the process, start your pre-reg, and then get qualified and begin to laugh. All right. Finally, I hope we're getting some value here. I'm just going to check the comments right now. All right, it's watching. Chinea, nice to see you. Paul, nice to see you. Emanuela, thanks for putting this together. Emanuela, final year optometry student watching from Nigeria. Okay, thank you so much. All of you watching, excellent. And does anyone have any question? Any question at all, put it in the comments below, because we're closing on today. And if there's anything I've said that resonated with you, go ahead and put it in the comments as well. I would encourage you as well, go ahead, like, share, comment, let your colleagues know about ACN Academy and what we do. And all we talk is UK qualification, and then we're liaising with some other people as well, because we're actually moving with the UK system. We're coming in with our bridging program that will help those of you, especially for you that is in final year. I did have a question actually, and I had someone that had come into the UK. I'm going to talk about that maybe on another live. She came into the UK after just doing internship, and I said to her, well, unfortunately, because you've already left your country before your 1 year unsupervised practice, we don't meet the criteria. So Chinea, you want to just make sure you're in, keep in touch with the channel, keep things going. I wish you all well in your final year. Do that unsupervised year, and by September next year, you want to check to see what's going to change, because things will most likely, the system, everything's most likely going to have changed by the time you're ready to transition into the UK, if that's something that you want to do. But you want to keep a tap on things. Okay, thank you so much, all of you that are watching right now. All right, so the final thing that I know, and it's really sad. Okay, so I'm going to answer that question. Right now. Chinea, thank you. Actually, I'm just going to answer that question before I just say the last thing, and we're closing today. I know we're all busy. Thank you so much for watching. So you have a question, say, I have a question. How do new optometrists start the transition process? Okay, so when you say new optometrist, can you define your new? Do you mean you're still in school? Have you just graduated? And let me see, you're watching from Nigeria. So my question to you would be, have you been inducted? Have you done your internship? And have you done your youth service? Let me know where you are, and then I can answer. Because it depends on where. So if I just, even before you can answer that question, I'm just going to keep going. Now, if you're in Nigeria, for now, you must have finished your internship. So you would have done your internship, what you do after your induction, after your final year. and then you would have been in your youth service year. My advice is 6 months into your your national youth service year, you should start the process. You should start the process, getting all your documentation done. And whilst you're doing in that 6 months, you should start modifying your practice, looking into the competencies, seeing what is going to be assessed, the type of tests that are done in the UK. You begin to inculcate it in your own practice, so that by the time as you are finishing or getting to that 12-month mark in, your youth service, it means you have your 1 year unsupervised, and then you can submit your form and the whole process starts. Okay. So I do have a guide, and it's a full step-to-step guide that will show you how to qualify in the United Kingdom. I am just going to put the link right here in the chat. What is it saying? Post, can't post to some. Okay, I'm just going to try, and if not, when I go off live, I will put that down for you. So it's optom.acnacademy.com. All right, so hopefully you get that there. Okay, so that's how you start. Once you have met these criteria, you go to the GOC website. There's so many videos on this particular channel. On where you're watching on YouTube. So there's a particular channel on video on YouTube that literally walks you step by step. You do your pre-assessment, do your documentation check, fill the application form, submit it, prepare for your GOC interview, wait for your outcome, and then you proceed to pre-reg, and then your final OSCEs, and you're qualified. All right. Hopefully that answered your question. If you have any further questions, please ask. All right. Finally, the one mistake I know that most international optometrists do is they do it alone. I know so many optometrists that even graduated with me, graduated before me even, and they just went bush straight to the GOC interview. And unfortunately, some of them got a closure, like they didn't even move. It's a sad story, of course. Some got all right, excellent. I'm happy you can see that. Some got so many adaptations because they didn't ask questions. You don't need to do this journey alone. That is one big mistake you would make. Why would you want to dive into a sea that you don't know how to swim? You're not sure where the sharks are, where the crocodiles are. Why do you want to swim in the ocean of the internet with so much information when there is an academy that was opened specifically from a personal story from an international optometrist, how she, went through thick and thin to get the information in order to qualify, that has helped so many optometrists qualify in the UK. You want to do it alone, there's no need. Okay. So you shouldn't do it alone. Trying to figure it out without guidance, it costs a lot of delays, failed interviews, expired visas. I've seen it all. And I'm not saying it to, it's a sad story. I've seen even people that have gone into pre-reg year and it's just not working. You don't go. Why would you want to go alone? ACN Academy is there for you. Okay. So it can be fast. It can be confident. It can be better. It can be easy with structured support, with mentorship, with guidance. And that is definitely what ACN Academy has to offer. So this is my open call for you to join the program, subscribe to our channels. Okay, we do have things that we do. Keep an eye out, connect with me on LinkedIn, and let's get you UK qualified. All right, so I hope this was all helpful for you. And thank you so much for coming in. And I will, like I said, I'm a mom of 4, so I can't promise I'll be going live at this particular time. Paul, I wish you all the best. Chinaya, I wish you all the best. Please keep in touch. Let me know once you're ready for UK qualification, and then I can start navigating with you. Emanuela, thank you for coming in. Paul, I wish you all the best coming July. And all of you watching here, I just pray that your UK qualification dreams come to reality. And if you want the academy to sort you out in any way, just comment anything. Just say, I want to join the academy, and then I can send you a link to my calendar. I have opened up some spaces, especially if you have met that prerequisite. So make sure you've done your supervised year and you have 1 year experience as a qualified optometrist in your country. It doesn't matter whether your country you're regulated or not. We work with different countries. We worked with those in UAE, Pakistan, India, Ghana, Zimbabwe, Nigeria, all over. Okay, so wherever you're watching from, wherever you want to be, ACN Academy is there for you. I want to say thank you so much for watching, and I will see you sometime next week when we're live. Thank you so much for joining. All right, Chinea, I'll reach out to you. Reach out to me when you're ready, and then I have something good for you. All right, you take care, everyone.